There are a couple of things in retrospect, and it's always good to look over your shoulder on these things, but we have a routine with housekeeping, with room service, with audio-visual, anybody that goes in the room to do an inspection. We also have rules about do not disturb. If a room goes on do not disturb for more than 12 hours, we investigate.
So if he had suitcases carrying these automatic or semi-automatic weapons, would you have been able to spot that if they were in the suitcases being carried up to his room?
Well, we certainly wouldn't invade the privacy of a guest in a room. But let's put it this way. The scenario that we're aware of would have indicated that he didn't let anyone in the room for 2 or 3 days. That would have triggered a whole bunch of alarms here. And we would have, on behalf of the guest, of course, investigated for safety. And it would have been a provocative situation. I'm sure that the same is true at other hotels, but in this hotel, a 36-hour, a 24-hour, a 36-hour do not disturb on a room is a predicate for investigation.
I understand that Steven Pollock had gambled and stayed at your properties along with a lot of other places along the Strip. I know you talked to your security team afterwards. Looking back, after talking to all of them, how much of a profile did you have on him, and was there anything in that profile that should have raised a red flag?
It's an interesting question. He's been staying in Las Vegas since '06. So, we're talking about 11 years with his girlfriend, or at least in recent years, frequent visitor once or twice a month to this hotel and others. The most vanilla profile one could possibly imagine. A modest gambler, at least by our standards, nothing serious, paid promptly, never owed any money anywhere in Las Vegas. He didn't fit the profile of a problem or a compulsive gambler. If there was anything interesting that we discovered in the years of service, and we have butlers and waiters and masseuses and people in the beauty shop that know this woman and this man completely. They talk about normal, mundane things. But if there's anything interesting that stood out over the 6 years, nobody that's ever worked here has ever seen the gentleman or the lady take a drink of wine, beer, or alcohol of any kind.
Interesting that he would say that. Looks to me like our friend here's having a shot and enjoying himself. He looks smashed.
Now, a lot of people don't drink, but considering their frequency of all the restaurants and their behavior as normal tourists, taking advantage of everything that's available in our resort, they never ever imbibed in any liquor. Their behavior was conservative, private, understated in every way. You never ever would stop a man like this coming in the building. However, nobody in this company's history, no public person has ever walked in the service elevator unless they were accompanied by security. That wouldn't happen. Secondly,
did he go in the service elevator, Steve?
I'm just saying anything like that. I'm not sure whether he did, but nobody ever goes in the back of the house unaccompanied by security. But another thing, being in a room for 3 days in a do not disturb situation, that would have triggered an alarm here, and would have been considered as a potentially dangerous thing from the guest's point of view, that maybe the person was ill, and we would want to inspect and see that they were safe. We'd go into the room. We'd want to know more about anybody who was sequestered in a room for more than 12 hours. That would be something that our people have been trained to look out for.